A slowing of the recent grain markets rally hasn't changed feed costs for livestock producers. Prices for manufactured feed is up, and that's tough news for the feedlot industry, still working to overcome revenue shortfalls in recent years. While these large firms watch the bottom line, individual producers must do the same, especially as winter approaches. Whether it's the feedlot or the feed truck, grain is one input vital to the cattle business.
Feed costs are always important. When corn's low, feed costs are still important. We still worry about, gain, about conversion when these cattle go through the feedlot. And so, but we're seeing it maybe, rise up to the top of the list for many of our customers.
This fall, as corn, soybeans, and wheat began its furious march skyward, it didn't take long for feed prices to follow.
In the livestock industry, we have seen feed costs go up significantly this fall. It could be a trend that we have to learn to live with for a while.
That's because demand for grain remains high, especially for corn, a major component of finishing feeds. Feed, food, ethanol, and exports are all competing for a cut of this quality American crop.
We're actually in a position now where we need a record crop each and every year just to keep corn kind of steady, and so we're going to have a lot of risk with the corn markets moving forward, and that uncertainty is going to slow down expansion. And it's kept a relatively tight lid on cattle prices, even though the number of cattle in the U.S. is shrinking. So how do these cowboys feed profits into the herd? One way may be with technology and information. The American Angus Association, the industry leader in genetic data, now offers a new EPD, or expected progeny difference, the numbers they use to forecast performance potential.
For years, we've been able to identify which cattle gained the best, and that's not been the problem, and we've been pretty good at that. But there's another part to that issue, and it's which cattle gain the best with the least amount of inputs.
Inputs being feed and forage. What they're calculating is genetic feed efficiency, now known as residual average daily gain.
Oh, it's a very important number to know because it helps you again in the selection tool to select not only those cattle that gain the fastest and the best, but those that do it the most efficiently.
We're looking at saving at least $150 in the feed yards on each steer. And we're seeing that there's more efficient cows out there grazing our grass than others.
Giving producers the potential to make money on cattle early, before ever spending a dime on feed. The American Angus Association recently released 6 new genetically based performance traits. I'll take a look at how that could impact producers tomorrow on AgDay. And speaking of feeding, the monthly Cattle on Feed report came out Friday. It shows U.S. feedlots bought more young cattle in October. Overall, more than 2.5 million head, up 1.2% from October last year. The total feedlot herd is up about 3%.